Those of us working for peace-building organizations and missions know that the promotion of equality between men and women should form a core part of our business. But where do we start? And how can we guarantee that we have an organization that makes gender equality an obvious part of its mandate? Gender mainstreaming means to systematically work with a gender perspective at all levels, and allows us to identify inequalities and to adjust our work accordingly.
This way, the needs and experiences of women and men become an integral component of the design, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation of policies and programs in all political, economical, and social fields, so that both women and men can benefit and inequalities are not perpetuated. This perspective tends to be applied only through separate projects and depends on personal commitments. Based on global best practices and extensive experience of supporting international organizations, FBA rather recommends the activation of an institutional machinery that can support the systematic use of a gender perspective throughout an organization's work. Adopting the concept of bureaucratic gender mainstreaming is one means of reaching this objective.
Why do we talk about bureaucracy? The concept reminds us that gender mainstreaming should ideally be a commitment from the leadership to use the organization's dynamics and daily operations to promote equality between men and women. It is a process of change, carried out in small steps, which must be owned and led by the top leadership and middle line managers, supported strategically by gender advisors and focal points, and implemented by all staff. In other words, a functional bureaucracy that will underpin its effective application and make it impossible to avoid. Let's see which are the key components of the concept.
Sustaining gender mainstreaming is best done through a top-down process with strong organizational commitment and leadership accountability. When it comes to gender mainstreaming and the use of a gender perspective, the role of the leadership is to do what they always should do: communicate direction, create an enabling environment, and hold the organization accountable through regular follow-up. This systematization will make sure that gender mainstreaming doesn't remain on the margins. Leaders and managers must be aware of what a gender perspective means, both for the organization's mandate and in terms of their own role in implementing it, and they should make use of the strategic support from the gender advisors.
It is important to have a full-time gender advisor who can guide decision-making and the implementation process. Additionally, this function would support the development of ongoing training programs at all levels of the organization, as well as effective strategies and tools that can be implemented in the organization's daily routines.
As for the gender focal points, generally under the guidance of the gender advisor, we speak of a network of people from all units of the organization that provide regular input to each of the work areas they belong to, so that a gender perspective is applied throughout the organization's work. A person in this role must possess good knowledge of the thematic area he or she belongs to, as well as good communication and collaboration skills to effectively support their colleagues and have a positive impact on the work processes of their team.
All of us in the organization have the responsibility to implement this perspective in our daily tasks. However, we are not expecting everyone in the organization to be a gender equality expert, but rather to systematically ask ourselves a few extra questions as part of our regular tasks to make sure we can identify hidden gender inequalities and then make the necessary adjustments.
Bureaucratic gender mainstreaming, organizational commitment and leadership accountability, strategic support functions. Keep it realistic. Make it doable for all staff. What is your perception of these components in your organization? Are we ready to advance in our ability to be gender responsive in the midst of our larger peace-building mission?
Are we still lacking some of these components? FBA can support us with establishing them. We will discover how to move into action in the second part of this video.